Hello and welcome to the Dutching channel. It is Friday the 19th of April 2024. We've just gone past 9:15 in the evening and we're going to do our selections for Saturday, including the ITV races. Now, because I haven't had a great deal of time today checking past winners and losers and betting, we can see tomorrow there's Ayr, Bangor on Dee, Newbury, Thirsk, Brighton and Nottingham, all these from the UK and Curragh from Ireland. But all I've managed to do are the two principal meetings here, which is Ayr and Newbury. And I've put it's not a new system to me, but I'm going to put this new system up from now on. And the other one, I'm just gonna kick to the curb for a while, and we're gonna go ahead and use this. So we're gonna look at tomorrow's two principal meetings, and we're gonna start off with the 1:15 at Ayr. I did every race at both meetings, including the races where there's horses that haven't run before. It's not that I'll be betting in them, but it gives you an insight of the rest of the horses that are running. But we're going to start at Ayr. The first race there tomorrow is the 1:15. Now I'm going to quickly show you how the system was devised, how it works. And I'm only going to show you this on one runner. I'm not going to go down the card. I'm not going to do it in another race. I'm just going to show you in this first one. So our top selection that we've given to win this race is Traprain Law. So this selection, as it stands, 5-1 in the Racing Post. So we're just going to click on this. And you will see that as it's a chase race, if you like, a handicap chase, we're only going to use chase form. Alright, but we only use the last three chases. So regardless if it had fallen in one of them, you do not go back to that fourth one. So let's have a look then. The last race was 5 runners, came first, did a Racing Post rating of 145. So even though, did you do 145 or 146 there? You better change that. Which is not going to help us at the end now. Right, so that one off of 145. You don't need to do any more when a horse has won, because it wasn't beaten. So you can't put in a quarter of a length or half a length or whatever it was it got beat, because it didn't get beat. And the difference in the weight to the winner, well, it was the winner. So again, the pounds, you can do nothing with that. And this goes along for the third race as well, where we've got 140. And you'll see there that the third race is 140. Again, it didn't get beat, so it couldn't get beaten against anyone with more or less weight. So we're now going to go into the middle one of those races. And we'll open the race up and we will see that the Racing Post rating is 132. And you'll see that we've got 132 there. The horse finished 5th and it was beaten, as you can see, the one in the brackets, not the one above it, the one in brackets. It got beat 7.5 lengths. So you go beaten 7.5 lengths, so that becomes a minus. And there, the weight was 10.7. but the winner was 9.13. So it means that Trap Rain Law was carrying £8 more than the winner. All right, 10.7 to 9.13, it is £8. So that £8 becomes a plus. All right, and they're the only 3 lines of form that you need to put in. It's the last 3 runs on the chases and the racing post rating, how far the horse was beaten, if anything, and the difference in pounds, whether that will be higher, lower, or off the same mark. So now this changes just a little bit here because I had 146 for some reason. I must have just read that wrong. So now 145, 132.50, and 140. These would work it out itself from these results that we've given here. So your top one, which is now 145, you need to put in there manually. And the weight, this tells you in the race itself. All right, that's the weight of each horse. And you'll see that Trap Rain Law here was £11. 11 stone, I should say. So the weight there goes in 11 stone. Now the average weight for a national hunt jockey to carry is 11 stone 2. On the flat it's 9 stone 2, and an amateur jockey on the flat is 10 stone 2. So we need to get these weights all the same. So this needs to be added £2 to reach 11 stone 2. And the same with the one underneath. This is already on 11 stone 5. You need to take £3 off for that to become 11 stone 2. Now, there was no claimers, but Patrick Wedge is claiming £3. That's what the 3 is after his name. So I'm going to use that claim there, right, because he's got an extra 3 to come off of the 11.2. So now this puts Trap Rain Law at 150, right? And everything else is in order of rating. And this is roughly time form rating as well as racing post rating. They're similar. They're not quite done in the same way, but they are definitely similar. So as we keep going across here, I couldn't make any more mistakes doing this. Right, as we go across, we will see that when I leave these tomorrow before racing, it will be like this. And I will be backing them one by one as I go down using the Dutching system. So Trap Rain Law will be the best bet from Pembroke, Persian Time, Tommy's Oscar, Sam Bruet, and Uncle Phil. So that's just to show you roughly how you get to those points. And again, it's one of those systems that takes quite a while to come up with the answers. So if anyone wants a free template to try that themselves, they're more than welcome. Now going into the second race at Ayr, the 150. After all the handicaps and everything else, in that orange column is the order that I've got these expected to finish in. So our selection for the 150 at Ayr tomorrow will be Ballycoos from Deeper Blue, A Buffalo Soldier, Donny Boy, Inch House. This is how I will be betting on them. There's 13 runners going to post, and I will come back and do a video tomorrow morning with the matchbook prices, and we will work it from there tomorrow. So I'm going to move that one across so you can see it a bit more plainly on the selections that I've got, and I'll also do that on the top one. Right, so that brings up the first race, and that brings up the second race. Right, so moving now into the 225 at Ayr. We'll bring these across, get all those numbers out of the way, and you'll see in this race that I've given, again, in that running order going down, this is in ratings. I've given First Street, Petit Tonnerre, Rubald, Westport Cove, but again, when you go down, there's still quite a few runners in that race as well, so we'll sort that out again tomorrow. Then into race 4, this is the 3 o'clock. The thing is with Ayr as well, they seem to have, like, there's no new runners, if you like, or anything there. I suppose you might get that in the National Hunt Flat race, but all the rest are really big handicaps. And in the 3 o'clock, again, you'll see that the rating for this race is lower. Flower of Scotland, Pink in the Park, Philippa Sue, a penny 100. Right, so again, this is the order, but tomorrow I will go through it with Matchbook in the morning. And this is the big race of the day. This is the Scottish Grand National. 26 go to post here at the moment. And when you've got races like this, they do take a long time to get done. But even the 20th one down here, you know, you go back to here is 146, and the top is only 10 lengths higher than that officially. It's just lengths, not points. So anybody, I think, could win this tomorrow. I think it's really, really open. But I've got Whistle in the Dark, Mr. Van Gogh, Surrey Quest, Tommy Bow, Angler's Crag, Stay Away Faye, Iron Bridge, Autumnus Cloud. I don't know how many of those we're going to be able to bet. We'll look at the prices, as I say, tomorrow morning. And then into race 6. This is the 410 at Ayr. And again, it's one of those tight races, you know, 10 lengths. Not even that top to bottom, 8 lengths. So again, it's one of those really open races, anyone can win. Chosen Witness, I Love My Bay, and Major Fortune. Then we'll move into the 7th race. Got a few horses here that haven't got form for all 3 races. But this was one that I've got by 5 lengths here, but it's mostly not enough to call a decent bet. This is Key de Bourbon, and we got 203 as the second selection there. I think they're both Gordon Elliott's, them, and this one's Willie Mullins. Billericay Dicky, I did like the name of that one. So this Billericay Dicky is already 12 lengths off my top selection, but of course that one is favourite. And then we'll go into the 8th race there. Now this race is a little bit different because this is one of those National Hunt Flat races, and 4 of them haven't run before. As you can see, there's no form there at all. So whether you have a bet in a kind of a race like this, I don't know. You're just betting blind with those 4 that they don't do anything. So coming up to the form here, if I was to have a bet, say to chance, is 14, nearly 15 points. So that would be 15 lengths clear of the second horse. But of course, you would be gambling on these 4 not being better than that one. And I don't really like betting in races like that, as you know. So that is the 8 races at Ayr. And now we're going to have a look in the meeting at Newbury. We'll start there with the 130. And this was one time anti-post favourite for the Derby. Used to be ridden by Frankie Dettori quite a lot, this horse Arrest. And then I've got in second Mutaba, Hamish and Max Vega. But there isn't a lot again between these, maybe top 4. You know, anybody could win this. Just needs one horse not to get away, and then one of them, anybody could win that really. And then we're going to the 205. They've got some nice races on the card there tomorrow at Newbury. But again, we've got a couple of horses that have only run once and twice. And these, you know, whether I bet in a race like this, I do like to have 3 lines of form, I'm going to be honest, but I just wanted everyone to be able to see that just because I'm not betting in it, you may be betting in it. So it's having a look at their Relief Rally. That was a good horse last year. And then you got Bulgaria and Regal Jubilee. So it is a good race, but when a lot of these haven't been out as 2-year-olds, and that goes for all of them, anybody could step up. Then into the 240. This is another good race tomorrow. But the last horse has only run twice. But don't underestimate this horse, because it's done 2 very good times and it's only 2 races. The best timed horse in that race is Ballymount Boy when it ran in France at Longchamp, when it was beaten by, oh dear, Ross Callion, I think it was. So this will be a good pointer towards some of the good 3-year-old races. So we'll look at that one tomorrow. It's actually not a race that I would be betting in. And then we go into the 315. This is a big handicap here of 21 runners. Of course, we've got a horse down the bottom that's only run twice. And this is one of those races again where you missed a break and that's your race finished with. I've got 106.75 as the top, but even just halfway down, there's only 3 lengths between most of the field. I've gone for Radobarg, Hieronymus, Real Game, Navaggio, Tawada, and again that will need to work itself out when I do that in the morning. And then into the 350, I've got a very exciting horse here. Is it in this race? Not sure if it. No, I'm not sure if it's in this race or the next race. But we've got a few maidens, or a couple of maidens. This is the first one you can see again down the bottom here. We've got 6 horses never run before, and 82.25 is the top rated in economics from Pasha and Sedgemore. Them 3 look quite clear in that race, but one of these 6 for me should be better than that. I don't think this is a great maiden, but you'll see what comes of that. And then we go, yeah, this is the horse I'm looking at. This one excites me a bit because I think they're going to leave this horse, Easy Dancer, for a handicap. So I think on their 3rd race here, you're not going to see a run from it. I would love to back this each way. But let's just go into the 425 at Newbury tomorrow. So let's have a quick look at this. You can see at the moment there it's showing 25 to 1. I mean, if you was to look at the form there and say 8th and 8th, the first thing you'll do is just scroll past it. So when we click on it, we see that the Racing Post ratings here would be 62 and 72. I've got this in the 80s, but where we're going to see this on its first 3-year-old handicap, I do not know. But this is going to do something at some point. Maybe they already think that's a good handicap mark to have. And this could be a nice little each way bet tomorrow, but again, we've got 3 horses that haven't run before. So even on level weights, this still would have been in 3rd place. So I'm expecting a half decent run out of that. You know, when there's a horse that just appears there and it comes straight to your face. That's just one of those ones, but I'm not really sure it can win it. Hidden Law is a good one for Godolphin. But again, I'd always say that to have a maiden here at Newbury, you've got to come out of more than an 82.88. You've got to be higher than that. But whether one of those 3 that haven't run before are going to be any better than this, I don't know. Or maybe we're going to see a decent run from one of these others. Because don't forget, these horses have only seen the course once. And Clock Watcher twice, but inconsistent on the second one. And of course, you've got that Easy Dancer there. So I'm looking forward to that race, but it won't be a betting race for me unless I decide to do a mug punt on Easy Dancer. And then into the last race, which is another handicap. And this time we have 18 going to post. But this last horse, this Rascallion, it's run plenty of races abroad, but it doesn't bring any form with it. So it's unfortunate that I say I can't bet in the race. It's just one of them horses you think 18 runners just could end up winning it. It's not a classic race. You know, when you look at my top rated here on 93, it isn't the best handicap you'll have. And I've only got 7 lengths down to the first 11. So again, anything can win this last race. But we've got Baltimore Boy, Expressionless, Polling Day, OJ Lifestyle, Mr. Mistopheles, Carsid. Again, I've got to look at these tomorrow to see what prices we've got and where we can take it and how many we're going to be betting in that race before I think about it. So out of the 2 meetings I've done, I've more done them because of TV racing. But I will say that I'll most probably not get many bets out of that tomorrow. So I may have to, you know, when I finish doing this, try and sort another meeting out tomorrow that's just got races where everyone has run 3 times, which is what I prefer to do. But I think it's going to be not a lot of bets tomorrow. But I don't know if you saw earlier, we had a half decent winning day today. And it's brought us all back to levels. So we've got no winners, no losers, we've got no nothing. But it's taken me 19 days to do it. But I will be honest and put my hands up that it hasn't been straightforward. I haven't just used the system that we've used from last month. So there's a lot of abnormalities, let's say, to how I got there. There was ones where I did value betting, I did lay betting yesterday, but I have been looking at doing this other system for a while now, so it was a case of taking some time off. That's why I've only managed just to do the 2 principal meetings for tomorrow. So I'm going to start using this, but really I will only use this on races where everyone's got a rating in the last 3 races. Doesn't matter if they've been pulled up or fell or whatever, that even though it's a 0, it's run, it's a rating. But when you're putting them in from abroad and they haven't got anything to go on, then instead of making it complicated, I just put a line through that race. And then some of those maiden races tomorrow won't interest me at all, where you've got 4 in one and 6 in another that hasn't run. And then even those nice races, those 3-year-old races that might produce even a Guineas winner, I really don't want to get involved where they've only run once or twice as a 2-year-old, because anything can happen from 2 to 3. So I'm not going to bother with that, but I'll be more clearer in the morning when I go through it all, and we'll see what the prices are on Matchbook. I'm going to get back into doing that again. It's just been a horrible month, really. So now it's like we're starting at the first all over again. We've got all the money back that was lost, and we will start from scratch. And yeah, let's see what we can build on tomorrow. If anyone's going to bet any of the horses that I'm doing, you'll see what I'm going to do tomorrow. And it's going to be all back to normal. It's not going to be where, you look at it the night before, and then by the time you've lost your money the next day, and I said, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I've done a different system. Right, this is the one I'm going to use for now. So we'll just focus on this to the end of the month and see if we can keep in the green now instead of dropping back into the red. But I just seem to keep having a few profitable days, and then the losses come back again, and we just, as soon as we get back to nearly levels, we normally lose. But tomorrow I just got that feeling now with this system here, it's going to throw up some different winners. When I looked at how bad Cheltenham was when I did that, all right, I made a profit of 140 quid in 4 days on just Cheltenham alone. But I could have done so much better using this system. This system would have brought the Irish Grand National up, the English Grand National winner. I mean, the Irish Grand National, there was 20 runners, and I backed 17 of them, and I didn't even have the forecast. That's how bad it was. But using this system, I would have had the winner in that. I'd have had the winner last week. So these are just things that I need to look at now and focus a little bit differently. I'm going back to the normal system now, where I back my top selection and work my way down. That I can't, if you look at this, I can't do value bets because there's no value there to be had. I've got no price that I can base it on. I can't do the same for lay-in bets. So there's nothing I can do, only where I was in March, but just with a different system. So I'm gonna be doing this now for a while. So I hope you all had a good punting day today and a few winners. I got us in front, so that was the main thing. Let's see what I can do tomorrow. And as I say, whether I can hit another 1 or 2 meetings just to try and put a little bit more out there, I will. But it's already 9:45 in the evening, and we're talking at least 2 hours to do another meeting. So this is how long it takes. But yeah, fingers crossed for tomorrow, and we'll catch up in the morning.